12 months. He predicted his party will win, ending the fragile coalition government with President Mugabe. Never mind the bride or groom. I'm sure some guests have pre-wedding jitters now, and not surprising, it's the night before the big day. An occasion like this, of course, demands all kinds of etiquette and protocols to be observed. Well, the guest list to start with, a bit of a diplomatic minefield. Embarrassing relatives are left out. Being selective is in. You can't be seen to invite one person and not the other, lest they kick up a fuss. You also can't risk political fallout, which is why Syria's ambassador to the UK lost his invite. There are the wedding gifts. What do you get a couple who already have a kingdom waiting for them? Many guests will be donating charitable gifts. £500,000 has been given. The Prime Minister of Britain, David Cameron, is giving them a book of photographs of Anglesey in Wales, where William is based with the Royal Air Force. And of course, it is a wedding. You need to behave appropriately, especially with dignitaries involved. Dignity and dignitaries. Prince Harry's putting on a survivor's breakfast at 6 in the morning for those who make it to the next day. It's not every wedding when you have to curtsy to the groom's grandmother. Then again, this isn't just any old wedding. Tomiko Zablith is an etiquette expert and the director of Minding Manners Agency is with me. Tomiko, if you were going tomorrow,
yes,
what would be your biggest concern?
Dear, my biggest concern would be to be close enough to take a captured photograph of the couple.
Right. Within that rules and regulations, what's the overriding etiquette? Because there's 1,900 people there, many of whom will not be familiar with etiquette at these sort of events.
Mm-hmm. So I would perhaps stand around, and one of the things I do whenever I go anywhere is to, in my mind, pretend that I'm the hostess. And by doing so, as I get to meet other people, I make sure I acquaint them with one another to put them at their ease.
But you wouldn't go up to the Queen and do that?
Absolutely not. Speak when spoken to.
Right. Now, so many of the rules about the Queen are slightly old-fashioned now, aren't they? I mean, you know, speak when spoken to, ma'am, not spam, all that sort of thing. Do those rules still apply, do you think?
I firmly believe they still do.
Really?
Absolutely.
But she's a very modern woman in many ways.
Yes, she is. But we have to think that etiquette often, it comes from conventions, which are set in place by tradition. And you can't just erase hundreds of years of tradition.
With the cross-cultures that are taking place, because you're an expert in this cross-culture environment, we have a lot of diplomats who know the rules. We have a lot of people here who may not. So talk me through cross-cultural aspects when you are in high-profile situations.
The first thing to recognize is knowing a bit about the other culture's history will help you know. You need to know a bit about their religion as well. Do we shake hands? Do men and women, do the genders cross? Do we give kisses on the cheeks? Do we respond fine, thank you to how do you do versus how are you? Lots of little codes that underlie.
In the business environment, when we talk etiquette, do you think not most people... I mean, there's Kate Middleton just shaking hands now. Surely this day and age, most people are used to Western business methods, or not? You're looking at... I can see the look.
They may be used to it, but they may not be comfortable with it.
Right.
If you can imagine finding yourself in a country where all day you do a namaste, and suddenly this intrusive hand comes into your space, could make you feel quite uncomfortable.
All right, this is an awful question.
Yes.
I'm never sure. When shaking hands...
Yes.
Now, I always like a good firm handshake.
Fantastic.
Unless it's with the Queen, of course.
Yes,
in which
of
case
course. It's quite likely.
But normally, when men shake hands with women...
Yes.
Are you supposed to go for it like that? Or is it more in polite company, you're supposed to go more like that?
Now, it depends if it's a social handshake or a business handshake. Business handshake, you make sure your web connects. Doesn't have to be strong, but a nice connection.
So, connection of webs?
Absolutely.
All right, connection of
Brilliant.
webs. And so that's business. And in social?
And social would be a bit more here, depending on the level of the person. Diplomatically, it's a bit more here. Social in a contemporary environment, still, put some confidence in it.
All right, and if you are on the receiving end of an etiquette faux pas.
Yes.
Famously, Queen Victoria picked up a piece of cake once off the carpet to put a guest at ease.
Definitely.
If you are at the receiving end of an etiquette faux pas, what should you do? How do you do it? You don't want to point out that somebody's just dropped jam on your best tablecloth.
Well, if someone drops jam on your best tablecloth, you just let it be. In fact, there was a wonderful story of a lady who would also drop another bit of jam on her tablecloth. That's what a gracious hostess will do.
And finally, the age-old problem. I want to introduce you to him over there, but I can't remember your name to save my life.
Yes. you will remember that you met me at a Minding Manners cocktail party. And at the bare minimum, be able to say where you last saw the person so they don't feel completely forgotten.
I met her at a party, and now I can't remember her name. How does that? That won't do at all. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you very
Excellent
much
handshake.
indeed. Nice firm handshake. Many thanks indeed. Now, over the past few weeks, we've been asking to see the photos from your big day for richer and poorer, and we wanted to know